Hello, I'm Ross from Britain's Hidden History, and another episode in this very weird story about Sutton Hoo. And this time we're looking at the rivets, the iron rivets, or at least we're trying to. Now, if you look at this picture, hang on, this is a picture from 1939 dig, and you will see along there, everything's completely decayed, disintegrated, and all that's left is the iron rivets. And from that, these very clever chaps have then worked out that it's a boat. All right, so the iron rivets are absolutely crucial to this, and they had discovered over 3,000 of them. So, as one bright viewer pointed out on a previous episode, and it's one we were considering there, why has there been no further look at the iron rivets? A few years ago, when they were building the replica, they were doing it without iron rivets. They were going to do it with wooden bungs. I think called trenils, they call them. Anyway, I think people like myself pointed out to them, hang on, the whole way you found the boat was with iron rivets. Seems strange you're not going to use them. And while you think about this, I would like to look at these pictures and see if I'm being mischievous. And you'll see exactly why in a future episode. But first of all, I'll look at the pictures, see if anything else jumps out at you. And also, we've got some news on the rivets. Finally, some news from the British Museum. So it's all Bob's research, so over to him.
The iron rivets.
Oh, come on.
They've had all these iron rivets for 80 years. And as we've mentioned before, no one's actually bothered to analyze them. They were x-rayed and radiographed to find out what they looked like inside. But as we mentioned before, at the moment, you've got the Sutton Hoo Ships Company building a replica of the boat, the Sutton Hoo boat. They started a couple of years ago, but they've been hit by COVID, and they've now been hit by a shortage of oak timber for their keels and the big timbers that they need to build the boat. But one of the things that they are doing in conjunction with the British Museum is that they are now analysing 80 years after they were first discovered.
Finally,
the iron rivets, with the intention of finding out, so what they were made of, where they would come from, possibly when they were made. And also they're hoping that there are small fragments of wood still attached to some of these. And they're hoping then that the analysis of that will actually help them determine what kind of wood it is. The assumption is made, and it's written through all of the publications, that the boat was made of oak. And that's because all the Viking boats were made, keels were made of oak.
Right.
The upper decking and the
no oak was found, was it? So yeah.
But the upper decking and the seating on these boats are normally made, not normally made of oak. They're normally made of other cheaper, not so much cheap in those days, but more available.
Ash and maple and things.
So there's a combination of woods involved, but for obvious reasons, oak being strong, the hulls of them are normally made of oak. Now, the analysis work, they first announced that about 18 months ago, but then of course COVID intervened and presumably it got delayed. But on, I've got a post here now, Sutton Hoo Ships Company.
Yes, hot news.
Posted on the 19th of January, so it's not as hot as it is, but I only just found it in the last week or so, that the analysis has been undertaken. And I will quote here. Our efforts in the laboratory examining rivets, courtesy of the National Trust and Sutton Hoo Society from the 1939 dig, i.e. the Sutton Hoo boat, and this is the big quote, have yielded some extraordinary results.
Go on.
Yeah, no.
Go on, Bob, what are they?
Yeah. Okay, it goes on then. I won't preempt my colleagues by revealing too much. I will only say that in addition to learning more about where, when, and how the rivets were produced, and then in brackets, and how we might produce rivets of our own using traditional materials and techniques, close brackets, we may also have an unexpected opportunity to uncover some very specific data about the wood used to construct the ship. Please stay tuned for more information on these important topics. Now that was on the 19th of January. I'm here with my tongue hanging out, waiting for this. And what I'm noting,
so it'll all become clear, Bob.
Yeah, and what I'm noting about it is the quote have yielded some extraordinary results. They haven't said some extraordinary good results, i.e., that the results were the other, and they were what we were expecting.
Yes, it confirms it's all.
And the results are so good, and the information is so good, and the real argument is so good. They've actually said extraordinary results. Now, does that imply there's something here which is going to upset the apple cart?
Who knows? Completely impossible to tell for that, isn't it?
But I checked this morning, as I do every day.
We got updates. All right, last live updates. Go on.
As I do for updates, but sadly,
nothing yet.
And I wonder whether, because you've got at least three parties involved in this. You've got the Sutton Hoo ship company who are building the replica, who asked for the analysis to be done. You've got the company doing the analysis itself, and you've got the British Museum. And I'm wondering whether they want to make some kind of big presentation, big statement, and come out. You've also got you've got another party involved as well, the National Trust, who've got the Sutton Hoo Museum. And I'm just wondering whether all those four parties want to get together and throw out this information, this new information in a big press release, and in the hopes that it will boost the attendance at the National Trust Museum. Oh no, that's a bit cynical to say that, but yeah. And you can see that they might be holding back the announcement until the COVID travel restrictions.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Or my view is they might be looking for a way to dress it up.
Yeah. Or an alternative theory, they're all scratching their heads and saying, yes. What do we do? What's the story going to be now?
How do we still make this Redwood?
And it could be something like that. It could show that the rivets are older. It could be shown that the rivets are coming from some unexpected iron source, like perhaps Wales.
Oh my God, no.
We don't know, but the announcement, it wasn't the announcement session, it was just a little small item in their regular newsletter. And the guy obviously doesn't want to steal everyone's thunder, but he's thrown it out as a bit of a teaser. And as I said, my tongue is hanging out on this because
we'll have to throw it out as a teaser as well. Anyway, on to the next one, because we got loads more. This just gets more and more suspicious as we go on, doesn't it? Maybe that's a cruel word, but there's lots of.
I think on this one, this wraps up really the timeline one that we're looking at now, because we've gone through the timeline of the mounds and what it's throwing up in terms of the of the anomalies it's throwing up in terms of the disintegration.
Yeah, I think what it shows is rather.
Then we got the link between the Mound 1 boat and the Mound 2 boats. They seem to have been buried at around the same time, because it does look likely that the same dye was used, which indicates the same workshop, at least, if not the same persons. And we're waiting on these iron rivets, which could take us off in a completely new direction.
And hopefully the iron and the bitumen and all sorts. Anyway, we'll come on to that next show. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, I think we're on to the next show, because I think we've done enough on this one.
All right, so there we go. You wait 80 years, you think finally some analysis on the iron rivets. What is going on with them? What have they found? What have they found about the origins? Because, of course, the largest iron reserves up until recent times were in South Wales. It's interesting. Maybe they can locate the iron. I don't know. What do you think? Please put some comments. Interested to see what this report is going to contain. Maybe, I don't think you can do the age. Origins, I don't know. Looking forward to it. And also, what you think about these pictures. And see if anything else leaps out at you, which will be coming up in a video soon. I think we should call this the Sutton Hoo Scandal. There's a clue for you. The Sutton Hoo Scandal, not the Sutton Hoo Full Story. So until the next time, until me, which will be tomorrow, From Ross, Heather. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed that and found it informative. Britain's Hidden History Group has so much more going on our YouTube channel. The one you're watching now, there's a live stream, 8 o'clock UK time every Sunday. We speak to people like Wilson and Blackett, reprint their old books and help produce new ones. We go researching to the tops of mountains, all the way down to the bottoms of caves. Busily recording the books, you can listen to them as well, and looking at mysteries and working out what we're not being taught in schools and preserving it, because the physical and written evidence is rapidly disappearing. You can also find out how to read ancient writing and hieroglyphs using the Welsh language. It's amazing. There's a Facebook group where this is being discussed. Along with a website, you can buy the books and help us. Also, as you can see, there's now a Patreon page where just a few pounds a month will make all the difference in trying to keep the project going and preserve this history for future generations, and also to find out for ourselves what is going on, what is Britain's hidden history. So until the next time, Heddwch!